Hi, welcome back to Agile Scrum Kanban presentation. This is Satyadev. In the last presentation, I talked about various metrics, Scrum metrics that are used. Basically, team velocity, burn down charts, and burn up charts. Now, in this presentation, I'm planning to talk about how to improve the metrics. The first thing that we need to have is metrics, right? Metrics shows how things are going, which is good. And Agile does have those kind of metrics. Again, Scrum has special metrics that we discussed in the last presentation. So those metrics are good. Now, seeing them doesn't make sense, right? We have to act upon them. So we have to not only see the metrics, but also act up. How to improve those metrics? That is the goal, right? That's what we are going to discuss. Again, improvement cannot be done at one place. It has to be done at multiple places. Let's discuss what they are. Now, how to improve metrics? The first place to improve the metrics is sprint planning. Again, these are all the factors that influence the metrics. So, and that could improve the metrics. So that's the reason I'm going through each phases. First phase is effective sprint planning. Keep stories well defined, estimated, and prioritized. It is very important in Agile that and Agile Scrum. Basically we are talking about Scrum, right? So Scrum that whatever stories we are working on, they should be well defined very clearly. Team should understand what they are exactly supposed to do, and they should give a proper estimation for that, and they should know the priority of the story. These three things are very important for a story to be taken. If those three are not there, then I think, things could go wrong and the metrics could go wrong. Second thing is use velocity and team capacity to realistic expectation. Don't put a lot of pressure on the team by asking them to get the same output from each and every sprint. Let's say in the past sprint you delivered like 50 points. Don't expect to deliver 50 points if there are some vacations or holidays there, right? So be realistic in setting expectations and plan accordingly. Plan everything accordingly. The third one is clearly define sprint goals and priorities. I think it's tied to both the 2 points above. Basically, at the planning stage itself, should have things cleared out very well. That's the first place where we start things making better so that our metrics get improved. Second place or phase is daily stand-ups. Basically, if you see, these are nothing but the ceremonies, right? So planning is a ceremony, stand-up is a ceremony. Planning happens for every 2 weeks or 1 week or 3 weeks based on the sprint length, right? Sprint size. So yeah, daily stand-ups. Keep meetings focused on blockers and progress. So what happens is when the team is naive, either they talk very less or they talk a lot of time. So as I discussed in my previous presentation, sprint daily stand up should be confined to 15 minutes max, should not go beyond 15 minutes. Each person should get 1.5 minutes, something like that. If it is a 9-member team or 3-member, it could be little go more, but yeah, it is how it is. We already talked about that, right? So it should be very focused. The daily standard should be very focused, and they should focus on blockers and progress. And there is no point in explaining, very in depth about what is done, what worked well. That's not the place for discussing all those things, right? That is stand up. Second point is encourage open communication to resolve issues quickly. Now, I think this is very important. There are two aspects to it. One is open communication as well as respectful communication, basically. So open communication means you tell your problem very clearly. Let's say a team member depends upon some other team member, asks something that because of the team member is very busy, he or she is not able to help the other team member. Well, this is a kind of a blocker, right? Now these kind of things have to be raised in the stand-ups. Okay, I wanted Mr. X to help me. I asked him, but he couldn't do that. There are so many ways you can send the same thing, but we should talk very politely, because that's one of the things that Agile and Scrum advocates, right? So be nice to your team members, be polite and those things. So yeah, but don't just keep it to yourself and because he's a friend, don't tell. It's not like that. You have to openly tell, at the same time be polite. That way, the product owner or whoever, the Scrum Master or whoever that is there in the team, he or she can say, okay, If you need this guy's time, or this Mr. Person X time, I will make sure that you will get the time in the next sprint, like that. In tomorrow or today, whatever it is, right? So because it's a daily stand up, so those kind of things can be resolved quickly in the daily stand up. That's what second point is. Third one is track work item age to prevent stagnation. No, sometimes low priority items get backlog together for and they don't people don't get to do it, right? So raise weight, those kind of things. Take an action periodically. When to take an action, I will come to that, but yeah, take an action on the low priority items later. Third one is improve execution. This is daily execution. Limit work in progress to maintain focus. I'll talk about work in progress little later, mostly in Kanban. But what is work in progress is like how many story points a person are being worked on at a time. That's very very important. For example, a a very experienced user might want to take 3 stories at a time. No, that's not what the right approach. So take a story, finish it, then you take another story. So make the work in progress, what the number of stories that are being worked out. Let's say there are 5 developers, and there are 20 stories to be done, for this sprint. Make sure that there are only 5 stories, or maybe 6, or sometimes 4 also fine. So based on what the other person is doing. So limit that work in progress. Don't have like out of 10 stories, all 10 stories are being worked on from the day one. No, that's not right. That's limiting work in progress. Use burn-down charts to monitor progress and adjust accordingly. Yeah, I think I already discussed about that. Encourage pair programming or code reviews to improve quality. Code review and pair programming are very, very important. Pair programming is highly recommended in XP, not in Scrum. XP recommends us extreme programming and requires pair programming a lot. So that means for every task there are going to be 2 developers at least and work on the same code and parallelly. They look at the same monitor, same but 2 different keyboards, and they use try to do the same thing. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, that's how it is. And again, code reviews are very very important. Is it an automated code review or peer code review? Has to be defined by the team, but code reviews are important. Clear definition of done. DOD is definition of done to clarify uh, quality expectations and reduce rework and defects. So definition of done, like I said in the beginning, should contain all the things that are required, like unit tests, performance tests, or regression tests, whatever is required. They have to be there in the definition of done. Again, definition of done could be there for story level as well as the feature level, or the entire deliverable level. So it depends, right? So you have to define them. Again, team has the freedom to define all of them how they want to be, with the guidance of product owner. Product manager won't come into picture because he's a business person. Product owner and Scrum Master are the two people who work with the team. No, retrospectives. Again, this is also another ceremony, right? So where we address process and bottlenecks and agree on actionable improvements. So retrospective is the place. Okay, this is what we are planned to do. This is what we did, and these are the challenges we faced. These are the good things we did. So what we need to do is whatever good things that have been done, they should be carried forward to the next sprints or next releases, and whatever things that are problematic, we should create some actions. It's not like, oh, okay, we had this problem. Yeah, we shouldn't have this problem next time. No, don't just go by words. Okay, this is a problem. This problem happened because of this, and these are the actions are going to be taken for the next. So it should be a very detailed plan rather than just expressing regret, or just saying mouth saying, just from the word of mouth, like saying, okay, let's not do this next time. Not that way. Plan, even if it is worst thing that happened, fine, you plan for the eliminate that. That's what it is. Analyze cycle time and lead time to identify, but I'll talk about that a little later. Gather feedback from the team to refine process. Ask team, how do we refine? Is there anything that is bothering them consistently? Remove those things. Unnecessarily, don't cause unnecessary problems to the team members. Implement small incremental improvements rather than the drastic changes. If there is any code smell is like, not architecturally well code, right? Code smells or bad code is there. Improve it, but don't do it like at a one shot. Like, do it small, support it by unit tests. Basically, the way refactoring is done at a high level. If you want to refactor a piece of code, a module, first thing you need to do is write thorough tests for the functionality of the module. So make sure that every piece of the functionality is tested, has got tests to cover. Then you start changing, refactor it. That way, I think if you break anything, you will get to know, right? So that's what it is with all kinds of input. It's not easy to refactor. The next one is gather feedback from the team to refine process. And next one is implement small increments. Yeah, see, these are the retrospective points and stuff like that. No, other items like instead of just using regular boards or pens and notebooks, use like online tools like Jira, Trello, Azure DevOps, similar tools to track real-time metrics and visualization trends. There are so many good graphs who get there from these tools. Automate reporting to get real insights. So I mean, there are ways where you can automatically, it takes the feed from the Scrum, it takes the data from this Scrum board, like these many story points are done, automatically it will generate the graph. This, Jira and other Trello, these guys, these things automatically show those things. Provide cross-functional training to reduce dependencies and improve flow. So basically, this is very, very important. Like cross-functional training is very important. Every sprint should have some time to do this, like 2 hours or 1 hour, depending upon agreed upon time among the team members. Team members should present something new or from the project to other team members. And the last but not the least is the CI/CD automated test DevOps pipeline to speed up the stabilizer delivery. So again, DevOps is something that is a new series that is another series I'm working on parallelly. So I mean, you can watch what is DevOps and CI/CD, but this is a very, very important thing in Agile. It's kind of tied to the Agile that DevOps, CI/CD are part of the Agile that needs to be implemented. So these are the things that need to be. Yeah, thank you very much.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.